This year is sure to be as exciting as 2010. Who could forget the sensational season with Swans beating Claremont by a point in the grand final?
Shoots and Swans have won the grand final.
2011 is set to be just as big. 2011 is a chance for Swan Districts to prove that last year was no fluke. Coach Brian Dawson has moved on and is replaced by former West Coast and Fremantle player Greg Harding.
Well, we want to win it. We've actually recruited pretty well. We've lost a fair bit of our speed through the midfield with an Andrew Cracker and a Wade Toomey, but we've recruited really strongly. We've got some young players back to our club, Luke Miles and Jared Blight, and Adam Hunter's back at the club full-time, Ash Hanson's back at the club full-time. So, look, we want to win it. Whether we're good enough to, who knows, but we're going out to win it.
Hand pass is now off to Toomey.
Andrew Cracker and Wayne Toomey have both departed for the AFL, but this has been slightly offset by the return of Brett Robinson from surgery and Luke Miles from St Kilda.
The player, I reckon, will probably get under the guard of some teams, only for a short period of time, is Brett Robinson. He's come off that Lars operation last year, came back for the grand final, but was certainly well below his best, and we think he's like a new recruit for us. He's looking fantastic on the track. And guys like Luke Miles, who's come off St Kilda's list, and Jaron Jackie, who's come off Adelaide's list, they're two players that are just superb players, and will go through our midfield and go off half-back and give us great versatility and leadership. Last
year's bridesmaids Claremont will be out for redemption in 2011. Aided by a fit Chad Jones, the former West Coast full forward damaged his hamstring in round 16 last year and was severely missed by the Tigers.
We've got a lot to take out of that game in regards to how we use the ball and how, our attack on the ball and the player. And we looked at that like we did any other game and tried to take the positives away from it and the areas we need to improve. So.
The Tigers' strength will again be their core of experienced players. The likes of Blackwell, Brabazon,
here he goes again, Brabazon,
Foster and Richardson will again return to lead the way.
They've really jumped out of the ground, some of those guys. I mean, they're all 18 years old, McGovern and Hamp, and Broom's 19, so they're, the Eagles would be happy with the way they've come on in the pre-season. Plus, we've had the improvement from our guys from last year, and, we're looking to get more improvement out of our young players, the Jake Murphys and the Aaron Holtz and these sorts of players, and we've got some good kids coming out of last year's Colts. Plus, we've got that experienced core of, Foster, Brown, Brabazon, Rudderforth, Blackwell that are working hard to help us improve.
Sharks fans will be looking for continued success after making the top four last year. Coach Shane Woden has moved on to Brisbane, but the club is in good hands with favourite son Steve Malaxos taking the reins.
We had a reasonable year last year. First time our club had been in the finals for quite a while. So we're looking to build on that. We're also looking to develop things off-field at East Fremantle. We need to generate more income, and on-field performance is a part of that. But there's a lot of good things happening in the club to try and develop that as well, which down the line will mean more resources for the footy department and be able to even recruit even more.
East Perth's Tom Howlett has been recruited to bolster the Sharks' forward line, which struggled at times last year. Add to that former Brisbane and Carlton midfielder Richard Hadley, and the Sharks are on track for a successful 2011.
A few of the boys who would press on for AFL would probably still play Colts or even reserves, and there's some really good boys at that level. At league level, there's probably a couple of guys from a mature age point of view. There's Monteith and Scott Horsburgh, guys who've been in the club for a couple of years, and the club's leaning a little bit more than they've done before for mature age players. There's those sorts of guys, and Jamie McNamara is only 23, and we're hoping he has a really good year.
Crosstown rivals South Fremantle will be aiming to improve on a disappointing 2010, where they had only 8 wins. Ryan Murphy, now a full-time Bulldog after being delisted by Fremantle, and returns as captain.
Yeah, this year we want to step it up a lot more and hopefully be a lot more competitive in the games and not get blown away as much as we did last year.
Perhaps the biggest off-season recruit across the league was the signing of Paul Hazelby. The 4 times Ross Glendenning medalist decided not to sign with his original club, East Fremantle.
He's taken a lot of young boys under his wing, and he's starting to develop them into fine young players, which is good. And just the boys get a bit of lift out of him, and seeing him run around and have a kick with us on the training track.
Dispossessed, has a second chance, back to Jones, out wide.
2011 looks like another challenging year for Peel Thunder.
And not a good passage of players.
The recruitment of the Thornton boys, Ashley and Bryce from Perth and Christian from Sydney, will give them some depth.
We've worked really hard over the summer. We analysed the season pretty harshly and the results spoke for themselves. We've clearly got to improve in the defensive side of the game, stop them from kicking goals and kick more goals ourselves. We've looked at trying to improve our list and we think we've done a pretty good job.
After storming home to finish third last year, East Perth has signed 251 games of AFL experience. Graham Polak, Josh Smith, Gary Moss and Kane Pettifer should help cover the loss of Andrew Merrington and Ben McKinley.
He steers it through for a goal.
With our developing list and the experience that those young players have gained from what they went through last year and plus what we've added to the list, we've added some real quality to it, is that I'd like to think that we can go a bit further than what we did.
But pressure is on the new recruits after the failing of Wirrapunda, Lovett and Jason Rowe.
And what we've made sure this year, we've got the quality of player that we've recruited have been totally committed, and you know they've put in, they've had big pre-seasons, and consequently we're looking to big things for them this year.
Their biggest rivals, West Perth, have also recruited well as they push for a top 4 spot. Stephen Brown from Carlton and Mark Hutchings from St Kilda will help cover the loss of Chambers, Lascock and Longmuir.
Obviously losing Callum Chambers in particular and Clayton Lascock, two great servants of our football club. They're not easy to replace, but we've been lucky enough to get Josh Donaldson and Stephen Brown returned from Carlton. Brownie's been there for 3 or 4 years and he's going to be a very handy player for us, and Josh is a developing tool, so he might take a little longer to come to his top, but he's going well. Mark Hutchings, ex-East Perth, which pleases many Falcons fans that we've been able to pitch one from what I call the dark side. So, and Shane Tregear from Sandringham, and he's a VFL Club Fairest and Best winner. Elusive type forward, unlucky not to be on an AFL list, so look, he's going to be an exciting player and one that everyone should keep an eye on.
But it's the developing youngsters that could be the difference.
We've got a couple of great tools in Zanetti and Stockley, who have played league footy last year, and they've both improved significantly over the pre-season. We've got another tall kid who can run in Tyson Rowling. He's going to play some senior footy, I'm sure, at some stage this year. But we've got a whole range of midfield types like Shadbolt, Tyndall, Durl, Harvey, Buick. Those types of guys are going to be very good players for a long period of time at the West Perth Football Club.
The Perth Demons have been making their own waves off the field over the summer. A new 3-year sponsorship for their home ground and the recruitment of Kayla Thompson and Damon White have new coach Damon McMahon excited.
Damon White will predominantly see him as a tall forward, probably a full forward, centre-half forward, guy that's really control our forward line, gets up at the footy and strong marking player. Jared Kayla-Thompson, just I suppose a ball magnet prior to getting drafted to Hawthorn, probably averaged around 35 possessions a game. Probably see him doing that out on the wing again. Penetrating left foot that I'd like to see him linking up with Damon White and hopefully helping him kick a score.
Good news for the Demon fans in 2011 is they can expect to see a much more attacking game plan.
Definitely a more exciting brand of footy, probably more attacking than we've been in over the last couple of years. Maybe a practice match form mightn't have shown that in the last 2 weeks, but we think we'll be a high-scoring team with strong emphasis on accountability.
After a 50-50 record last year, Subiaco looks set for another difficult one with the loss of experienced trio Mark Webb, Phil Reid and Adam Campbell. But the recruitment of Danny Hughes and Marcus Hodges from Victoria should help the cause.
He's had a terrific pre-season, Des. He's just tweaked his knee a little bit, so we've backed him off. He'll probably be close to the start, maybe miss the first 1 or 2, but look, he's been great with that experience around young blokes. His first session, he really just pulled him in and took control at training, which was good.
After failing to feature in recent grand finals, Waterman faces the tough task of getting the Lions back on top.
We thought we still had a pretty good list last year. I think, like most clubs, if you get key injuries to key players, you're in a bit of trouble. So we think having guys like Des and Adam Cocky, these guys back on the list and fit and firing will give us some hope of playing finals footy.
Season 2011 is sure to be one of the most even competitions in years, with 9 teams vying for the top 4 positions and a chance at the premiership flag come September.